This is Kivana. As you can see, she's super pretty, fashionable, and looks great in brown. Okay, back to today's episode. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Green Mind Podcast. I'm your host, Nofemi, and I have a special guest with me today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Ivana.
Hi. Would you like to tell them anything about yourself?
I don't know.
What do you want to tell them? It could be anything. It could be a fun fact about yourself.
I'm happy to be here.
Oh, I'm glad that she's here, guys. I'm glad that she came. So, yeah. What are your interests?
I like anything art related, especially fashion wise. So I like sewing, I like painting, I like making bracelets, jewelry, I like styling clothes, really anything. And I also really like being in nature. I love music, listening to music, going to concerts, all that. So yeah.
Okay, so you're a big person on creativity.
Mhm.
I would pretty say the same for myself too. I like anything relating with arts and stuff. Like, I don't think I want to pursue art like for a career or anything, but like I enjoy doing it like in my spare time and creating art. So, how has your interest like changed from like when you were a child to like now?
I feel like my interests are more things geared towards what I actually want to do, because I feel like when I was younger, it was like my mom putting me in stuff like with Girl Scouts and dance. I mean, I wanted to dance, but I wanted to do karate. Like, I wanted to learn how to do self-defense. I was into that. But I did dance, and I did like it. It wasn't nothing wrong with that. If I wanted to get out of it, she would have took me out. But I feel like now my interest is more towards what attracts me. Like, I feel like I've always been really drawn to fashion, but I never really pursued it until now.
Until now.
Yeah.
Okay, that helps me to get to know you better. Because,
Yeah.
like, I mean, this is our first time actually, like, talking or, like,
Yeah.
conversating, you know? So, is there anything else? Is there anything you would like to know about me before we get into the video?
What made you start doing podcasts?
Actually, I wanted to do my podcast since, like, freshman year. Because I was like, I like talking. I just like talking. Like, I'm someone who likes talking. And I also like esoteric ideas and talking about things that a lot of people don't talk about, because I feel like we lack good role models, and there's a lot of things that we go through that nobody really talks about because people assume like at our age we're not that emotionally intelligent, you know? So it's basically like an outlet, like my audio journal, like stuff I would write, but this is verbal. So like it's my audio journal. So that's why I wanted to start a podcast and basically find like-minded people. Yeah.
I like that.
Thanks.
Yes, I've always thought about that too. Like, eventually in the future, when I achieve everything I want to achieve, I want to write a book to help people, because I feel the same way. I feel like we don't have a lot of role models or things like to help us. Like, I feel like I've been through a lot during my high school career, or even just before that, and I didn't really have nobody to talk to or to go to or to tell me how to handle it. And I feel like some things I didn't really heal correctly from until now, because now I have a different perspective and I learned how to, heal healthier. But before it was like more, I just became like more defensive and stuff, because I didn't have nobody to really tell me like how to really cope with stuff. So yeah.
That's so real. Especially when people like overlook your emotions or like they invalidate it. But it's like, come on now, like yeah. I like that. You should come out with a book.
Yeah.
Yes, you should. Okay. So for today's episode, the question is, how has your confidence increased with age?
Ooh, I feel like when I was younger, I didn't have as much. I don't know, actually. I don't know. I feel like we were more blindly confident when we were younger, into that weird age in middle school where people actually cared about the way you look. And then after that, I got like insecure. And then I don't know what happened between then and now, but like I think during like quarantine, I started to really find myself, and finding a me that I actually liked, that made me more confident. Because I feel like if you love yourself enough, you don't really need to know like everybody know you look good or anything like that. It's like I feel like eventually you'll find confidence knowing you look good and feeling like you look good because you're like you're like being the best you. Like you're
Yeah.
really presenting yourself in a way that's authentic to yourself.
That's cool. What do you think those like insecurities stem from?
I feel like other people's opinions.
Mm.
I used to be like a really big people pleaser. I'm still working on it, but I'm still a little bit of a people pleaser. But so like hearing people's opinions and what they felt about me or how I looked or just seeing how everybody else was, the way they dressed and all that, I feel like I really wanted to be that way. And I was trying to fit in with them rather than myself. So if I didn't have it like them, that would make me insecure.
I don't know. I feel like I'm also a people pleaser in a way. Like I look for that. Maybe I wouldn't put it that way.
Right.
Like sometimes I feel like I care about how my friends feel about stuff that I do. But if it's somebody else random on the street or somebody I don't even really know, like, oh, I don't really care. But if it's like people who are there to me, like they're really close to me, I care about what they have to say, you know?
Right.
So pretty much. And yeah.
I feel the same way because I feel like with your friends, it's like they know you, they know your story, they know like details about your life. But other people, they don't know why you did certain things you did, why you look certain way you look, what you've been through, none of that. So it's like, who cares about their opinion?
No. But if it's my friends, because it's like, you know, like you said, like I wouldn't want to create a certain image, you know? So pretty much. But for me to answer the question that I asked you, I would say when I was young, like you said, like we blindly have that confidence because it's like we're young, we're innocent, like we don't really know what societal standards are.
Right.
You know, we don't really know. We don't really have these unexpected, like we don't have this expected ways that we're supposed to look. And even though like a little kid might point something out to you, like, oh, your nose is big, or oh, I don't like your lips, like even still it might affect us, but not as much as it probably does now that we're older, you know? And I say, when I was younger, the thing people picked on the most was like my weight and stuff. I mean, it didn't really make me that insecure, but it was something that bothered me. But I was young, I never really cared until like middle school and quarantine. I feel like social media, what people were posting now, the type of body that you're supposed to have. So stuff like that made me insecure. But I feel like as I got into high school too, I started venturing out and figuring out what I like. Oh, it's a butterfly.
Ooh, that's really
pretty. But when I got into high school, I started venturing off and figuring out what I like, how I want to dress, my style. And I feel like, you know, as I start getting older and I stopped caring about what people thought about me, I started having more confidence.
Just a little detour.
Right. A little technical difficulties. Okay. I know we're talking about our childhood self and like self-love, but our childhood self. But like, what is one thing your younger self would not believe about you today?
That's a hard one. I feel like my younger self wouldn't believe I'm going to college and I'm going to North Carolina at that. Because I feel like for a while I didn't really want to go to college because I was just thinking about money and I'm like, oh, I can figure that out myself. I can make my own business. I can do this and I can do that. Like when I say younger self, I mean like freshman year or 8th grade me. But now like it's like everything shifted. I still kind of brought that mental with me into senior year. So like for a while, my college decision was literally based off of money. And then something just clicked when like literally at 4 a.m. in the morning. Like I just woke up and I was like, nah. And then I literally went and I applied so fast. It's literally in April. I applied so fast to North Carolina A&T because it's the HBCU. Because I was just thinking like, at first I was gonna go to Illinois State, and I was like, because they gave me a scholarship and all that, and it's close, you know, it's only like an hour drive from my house, and yeah, so I was gonna just go there, get my little degree, you know. So I didn't really think it was more options for me since I started so late on college planning. So when I did that, it like something didn't sit right with me for a while, like, and I feel like intuitively I already knew it wasn't gonna happen because I would tell people I knew that was like one of my literally only options. I only applied to 2 schools. And so literally like people would ask me, they'd be like, what college you going to? I'd be like, probably Illinois State. And I feel like I'm usually very sure about stuff. Like, if I know it's for me, I know it's for me. Mm-hmm. So it was like me saying that probably, I'm like, that means my mind will change. So, like, literally, eventually, it did. Like, I just kept getting, like, signs, like, that I need to go to HBCU and I need to actually pursue environment that makes me happy instead of just going to school just to go to school to get a degree. Like, I actually think about the benefits I could get and how much I like being in predominantly Black environments. Like, my whole senior year, I took 3 African-American courses. I took African-American literature, African-American history, and AP African-American studies. So it was like, that's something that means a lot to me. Mm-hmm. So, and then I even seen this quote. It's like, you have your whole life to be a minority. Go to a HBCU. Because then you could be a majority. Like, literally. And then just going there, like, and then I had the same teacher for all 3 classes. Well, no, only for 2 of them. And she basically was saying how it's like a very different experience going to HBCUs and going to PWI, because it's like, no matter how far you are from home or nothing like that, you always have people because you already have something in common because you're all Black. And that really stuck with me and really shifted my decision a lot. Like, I kept thinking about that. And then I was talking to my friend on the phone one day. We was just scrolling on TikTok, then looking at like HBCU videos, and it was like, I was like sad about it, like having like fear of missing out already. And I was like, why am I scared to miss out on something I can do? Mm-hmm. So like, yeah. And so I, like, literally the next day, I think I applied to NCAT, and then I got in like last month. So yeah, thank you. So yeah, I think younger me would not believe that, because like I really had my mindset like, oh, I'm not going to college, I don't want to go broke and this and that. But I don't care about money no more. I just want to do what makes me happy.
That's good, yeah. Because nobody tells you to chase your dreams and just do stuff that make you happy. Everybody just wants you to pick the route that, oh, it's going to bring you the best money.
Right.
But in the end, like, is it really worth it if I'm not happy?
Right.
You know? So, wow. I'm proud. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. What about you? Like,
for me, I would say younger me wouldn't believe the environment that I'm in right now, because the environment I'm in and also the confidence that I embody now. I feel like younger me would not believe that I got out my shell and I'm able to talk to people now without being afraid. I'm not shy no more. Because I used to be very shy as a little girl. I was very quiet, and I feel like I still am in some way. But like now I'm more like assertive, I'm more outspoken. Like, I can stand up for myself better now.
I love that.
And I'm able to like articulate how I feel to people, because younger me wasn't able to do that. Younger me just took it. So, you know, I'm proud, because that's a huge step from letting people like just walk over you and just being shy and letting people walk over you. That was not okay. So me growing up and being able to like have the confidence that I have and basically say how I feel without feeling ashamed. Yeah, that's a big jump for me.
Me too, honestly. Like, cause like I said, I used to be more of a people pleaser. So, but now, like you said, like I learned to stand up for myself and really have more confidence and be more assertive. And I could still do that while being nice. I feel like people make you feel like you have to be mean.
You have to be mean to people,
right? To like have boundaries, but no, like you can be nice and still set boundaries and respect yourself. Like,
like just because I'm saying no doesn't mean I don't like you or I hate you or anything. It's just saying like, oh, like for me, I don't feel comfortable doing that. And like you said, a lot of people like kind of take that the wrong way. Like me setting boundaries is like, you know, it's kind of like people think you're being mean, but no, it's not being mean. And you shouldn't feel that way, because I'm sure all of us have certain boundaries that we can withhold. We have certain lines that we don't want people to cross. So don't disrespect somebody else or make somebody else feel like, oh, their boundaries are not worth it, or invalidate their boundaries, you know? So yeah.
And I feel like the people who do feel that way, like you're just being mean by setting boundaries or you being too strict or anything, I feel like those aren't the people for you. Like when people just think I'm doing too much or I'm asking for too much, I'll just be like, the people for me, I don't think they would think that.
Not
like,
at
they
all.
will understand that and respect it, because I don't know. I just feel like you never asking too much when you're setting your own boundaries because you know what you can and cannot handle. And if somebody doesn't like that or they don't want to respect that, they're not for you.
They're not, like she said, they're not for you because you can't be everything for everybody. So have people within your space that respects your boundaries, and if they're not respecting it, then they're not for you.
Right.
Okay, they don't respect you. Okay,
No.
you don't have to say yes to every single thing. Right. So just be your authentic self and find people that enjoys being in your company but also respect your space.
Right.
Yeah. Also respect your space. I think that's a big thing. Okay. Another question I wanted to ask you was, what belief about yourself do you think is holding you back?
Ooh, I think that I'm not creative. I've been thinking about this a lot. Like, I think about that so much. Like, okay, I feel like a lot of the times within the last 2 years, I feel like I started not doubting myself, but I've kind of steered myself in a different direction fashion wise. I'm like, oh, I don't design stuff for real. I don't do this. I don't do that. And then I've even said that to people, and they're like, what? Even my dad, like, I said that to my dad. He was like, then what do you call what you be doing for other people? Like, and I was like, oh, like, I feel like I tell myself that a lot, and I feel like it kind of steered my direction and made me think like, I just started to get irritated with fashion a little bit. Like, I'm always dressed nice, but like actually when it comes to talking about clothes and designing clothes and starting brands, people always text me about stuff like that. And I would just be like, oh, I don't design for real. I just like making clothes. But I do like designing stuff, but I feel like I had this belief for a while, like, oh, I'm not that creative because I don't just sit here and design and draw stuff out all the time. And that, like, yeah. And I feel like that was kind of holding me back, like, in terms of everything I could do, because I feel like I could be further if I, like, tried to practice that more instead of trying to tell myself, oh, I need to just naturally have it like that.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I feel like I could if I tried, if I practiced. So, yeah.
So, do you think you're growing out of it, or as you're getting older and you're being put in those experiences where you have to try, is it like making you more scared, or is it kind of decreasing?
I feel like I was scared, but now I feel like I want to like run towards it instead of trying to run away from it, because that's probably meant to challenge me so I can be better and I can make more money and I could be more successful, you know?
That's good. I think those, like you taking those classes, that fashion design class, is gonna get you out that comfort zone, you know, and it's gonna give you another experience, you know. But don't ever say you're not creative. I'm like, what? What do you mean?
Exactly, like
what? What do you mean? I feel like creativity is like subjective, like the way people express, because I feel like creativity is the way you express yourself. So the way I express myself doesn't have to be right in your books, you know. So we all express ourselves in different ways. So you not having a specific skill, or you not having a specific skill that society deems as creative, doesn't mean you're not creative. You know? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like creativity isn't just having to do with art. Like sometimes it's even problem solving, like having creative ways to solve problems or to, like, and it could be so many different things. Everybody's creative at something, like.
Yes. Yeah. I definitely agree with that one, because I feel like a lot of people focus on creativity as just art, but it's other ways that you could be creative. You could be creative by just being logical with things.
Right.
So different way to be creative. So do you have anything you would like to say and end this episode off with?
I would say my advice to people is just to stay true to yourself and focus on yourself, and I feel like that's where the abundance grows. Like if you focus on you and put yourself first and focus on your goals and who you want to be, that's where things will get good. And yeah. So yeah, I think that's what everybody should do. And it's definitely hard sometimes when we want to like accommodate other people, and like we're so used to living for the world, but you gotta live for yourself, because at the end of the day, you are the only thing permanent in your life. Everybody else is not permanent. Like you never know what's gonna happen, so you really have to make sure you're pleasing yourself At the end of the day, all you have is you for real. Like, you can depend on other people. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to know that you have to put yourself first, too.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's so real. Yeah. Because you came into this world alone and you're going to leave alone. So,
right.
Yeah. Wow. I really like that. Yeah. Be true to yourself. Be authentic to yourself. That would be my advice for y'all, too. Love yourself and be authentic to yourself, because that's all that matters the most. Your opinion is the only one that matters. It doesn't matter what they say or she say. None of that. You know, just you and what you think. Well, thank you so much for coming.
No problem. I enjoyed being here.
It's nice having you here. Once again, I'm Nafemi and you're
Kivana.
And stay green-minded forever, okay?
Forever.
Stay green-minded. Bye, guys.